The Senate has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to address the nation immediately on the current nationwide protest by youths against police brutality and bad governance. It also directed the police to offer protection to the NSAS protesters to prevent hoodlums from hijacking their genuine action. The Red Chamber, however, urged the protesters to stop agitations on the streets while the federal government addresses their demands. It also urged President Buhari to immediately set up a judicial panel of inquiry made up of eminent Nigerians that would be run. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has vowed that he will not endorse the 2021 budget if it does not include adequate compensation for those who have suffered police brutality over the decades. He also said such budgets must not be signed by him if it does not address the challenges confronting Nigeria. Mr. Gbajabiamila spoke while opening today's plenary. He also assured that officers who engaged in unlawful activities will face penalty.
Today, we are witnessing across Nigeria a call for a fundamental rethinking of our nationhood. As we sit here in this hallowed chamber, a new independence movement is roiling our nation. A generation of young people who came of age in the years of our democracy have looked upon what we have built and decided that we can do better. We will do well to heed this call and what it portends for Nigeria. Let us take the opportunity of this moment to do the hard things, make the right choices, and pursue those objectives that drive progress and put us in good stead for generations to come. As Speaker of this House of Representatives, let me say now for the records to reflect and in the expectation that I will be held to account. I will not sign off on a 2021 budget that does not include adequate provisions to compensate those who have suffered violence and brutality at the hands of the police in Nigeria in the last. I will not sign off on a budget that does not meet the reasonable demands of the ASU, to which government has already acceded. There is no better time to rethink the system of funding for higher education in Nigeria.
The House of Reps Speaker, however, pleaded with the protesters to leave the streets and give government an opportunity to look into their matter. He promised to lead his team to visit families of Nigerians who have lost their loved ones to police brutality.
People across Nigeria who have led this protest, whose call for change has brought about this historical moment. You are the midwives of national rebirth. You have moved a nation to action, and now you must join in doing the hard work of making it real, the vision of a more just, more prosperous, and more resilient nation. We see your true cause. Please do not allow your righteous cause to be hijacked by those with base motives, who see in this moment an opportunity to pursue vendettas, to spread division, exploit the many existing fissures that exist in our society and bring our nation to its knees.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, has met with the members of the diplomatic corps in Abuja. The meeting, which held in Abuja, was convened to brief members of the corps on efforts made by the Nigerian government to address the demands by protesters across the country. Those in attendance were the envoys of the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, and others. Speaking at the meeting, Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama assured the diplomats that the Nigerian government was looking into the demands of the NSAS protesters with the view of addressing them. Recall that Nigerians in the diaspora have also been throwing their weight behind the NSAS movement by demonstrating in the country's embassies abroad. Scores of youth hit the streets of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, in continuation of the ongoing NSAS protests rocking the country. The youth blocked the Ojo end of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, where those traveling to Oyo town and the northern part of the country would link the Ibadan-Ilori road. The barricade forced some vehicles to turn back to seek alternative routes. But not quite long, the protesters started blocking all the exit routes. This caused traffic gridlock, and some motorists had to park their vehicles by the roadside out of frustration. The youth also mounted roadblocks in front of the police station in Ojo, in Akinyele local government area of the state. In the meantime, the Orogun UI Songo Road to Mokola roundabout, as well as the Mokola UCH roads in Ibadan, were all barricaded, preventing people from moving. Our correspondent Oluwa Fumilayo Alonge and Juliet Anine, who monitored the protests from those axes, reported that some of the protesters were not just seeking an end to SARS, but also protesting bad governance in the country. They outlined some of the issues to include high costs of food and other essential commodities. They also faulted President Muhammadu Buhari for refusing to listen to the agitations by the youth.
It has gone beyond NSAS. This is also for bad government. Masses are suffering. No food, no nothing. Increase in electricity tariff and everything. So apart from SARS, SARS is not the issue.
This is sad. This is so sad. Seriously, in Nigeria, we youths, we are fed up on what the leader are consistently doing. They are recycled themselves in governance. See Nigerians, see the youth. Seriously, I must say with you, it's so much sad. So much sad. And it's a pity for Nigerian youth to be suffering in the hand of leadership.
And reports say at least 5 persons have been killed in Ojo area of Ibadan following a clash between hoodlums and police over the NSAS protest. Some online videos have been showing gory pictures of mutilated bodies of alleged protesters and a police officer reportedly killed in the fracas. The incident started in the early hours of today when a police officer allegedly shot one of the protesters in the leg, which led to a clash between police and angry youth. The Ojo police station was said to have been burned to ashes, while 10 vehicles were reportedly set ablaze when the mob swooped on the police. From the police public relations officer in the state, SP Ulubenga, have not been responded to. Meanwhile, NSAS protesters also hit Akpata, Udono, Uluyole, by 110 at Leshiloye Junction, Jericho, and Iwo Road areas of Ibadan, preventing people from going to their various destinations. Some of the protesters who spoke with our correspondent, Olari Sayo Oweye, complained about bad governance in the country. The protesters have said they will continue the struggle until they see a change. And the ongoing protests have paralyzed economic activities in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, as hoodlums are now cashing in on the protest to cause problems. Our correspondent Ibiumi Ishola reported that the Eleyele Ologueru road was like graveyard as one could count the number of vehicles plying the route. According to him, at the Nihot end, youth blocked the road linking Jericho and Akpata while canopies were erected for music and drinking. In the meantime, reports from Agbarigo area near Pensioners FM indicate that some thugs were already capitalizing on the protest to extort residents. Some of the victims who spoke with our correspondent, Michael Adeyemo, said their phones were snatched, while one of them said cash of 90,000 naira was forcefully collected from her.
It really surprised us because nobody expected what happened today. Because we are all gathered together, we are looking for what is going on. We are just there, and some people don't just come with bikes, almost five or four on each bike, and it's almost 10 bikes. And they came to us, they harass us, they collect our phone, collect our money, collect everything. They even injured 2 persons that I was on. I was informed that the guy is in hospital now.
In the meantime, Oyo State government has directed the closure of all private and public schools in Ibadan, the state capital, due to the unrest that has erupted from the NSAS protests going on in the state. This was made known in a state broadcast by Governor Seyi Makinde. Governor Makinde also announced that security personnel from the Operation Burst will be deployed to hotspots to maintain law and order. Recall that the governor had earlier instructed the police in the state to take a backseat and allow other security operatives to ensure peaceful protest in the state. Similarly, Ondo State government, has directed all pupils and students in public and private schools to stay at home following the tension generated by the NSAS protest in the state. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu announced this through his official Twitter handle today. Meanwhile, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has imposed a 24-hour curfew on the state from 4 p.m. today. The governor made this known in a statement while lamenting that the protests against police brutality and extrajudicial killings had morphed into violence. This comes as the Lagos State Police Command also banned protests in the state. Suspected armed thugs had set ablaze buildings inside the Ajeromi Ifelodun local government area where the Lioni police station at Ifelodun LCDA of the state was earlier set on fire by suspected hoodlums. And in Abuja, armed soldiers have reportedly dispersed protesters in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory. Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu has ordered the immediate deployment of anti-riot personnel from the mobile police force to protect lives and property of Nigerians and secure critical national infrastructure across the country. The IGP's order was contained in a statement by the force spokesman, Frank Mba. Mba in the statement said the order came on the heels of increasing attacks recorded in some parts of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. This is News at Sunset on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Let's now talk some labor and pension stories. Organized labor in Ondo State says its expectation from the second term of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu are high. The unions, which urged Governor Akeredolu to fulfill his campaign promises, said they supported his re-election because of his administration's strides and regular payment of salaries. This was contained in a letter signed by the state chairman and secretaries of the Nigeria Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and the Joint Negotiating Council. And the National Industrial Court sitting in Owerri, Imo State, has reinstated 460 out of over 4,000 non-indigent workers disengaged by the Abia State government in August 2011. Ruling on the matter, Justice Galadima said the sack was illegal as a reasonable government should look beyond parochial sentiments and encourage unity. 460 of the workers had taken Abia State government to the industrial court. And in entertainment, actress Ada Ame, notable for her role as Emu in the family sitcom The Johnson, has lost her only child, Aladi. The actress took to her verified Instagram account to share the sad news. She, however, reassured her fans that she would remain strong. And in the world of sports, former Super Eagles coach Austin Iguavoin is said to be named the head coach of Malien de Bamako of Mali. The former Nigeria international defender is expected in Bamako today to formally take charge of the 2009 CAF Confederation champions. Recall that Iguavoin led the Super Eagles to a bronze medal at the 2006 African Cup of Nations in Egypt and has also coached Bendel Insurance, Sharks FC, Nigeria Under-17 and Under-23 teams. Don't block the road. Carry placards to register your plight. And to end the news at sunset, here is a recap of the main stories. The Senate has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to address Nigerians on the NSAS protest. The Inspector General of Police has ordered the deployment of anti-riot policemen nationwide to kill the ongoing protest. And Oyo State government has shut down schools in Ibadan following the unrest caused by NSAS protest, which led to the death of about 5 persons today in Ojo area of the city. And in sport, former Super Eagles coach Austin Iguavoin is said to be named the head coach of Malien de Bamako of Mali. The news editor is Yetunde Uki. My name is Pius Nsabe. Thanks for listening. Have yourself a lovely evening.
ẹ kú déédéé wòyí o ẹ̀yin olùgbọ́ wa ìròyìn àṣálẹ́ la mú tọ̀ yín wá láti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò àgbàlódé pensioners fm 106.7 àgbárígo nírèké ìbàdàn. ṣọlá ògúnṣọlá loníròyìn ṣáájú àwọn àrígbámú inú ìròyìn ọ̀hún rèé. ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin àgbà ti rọ ààrẹ muhammadu buhari pé kó wá ọ̀nà àti fòpin sí awuyewuye àwọn olùwọ́de tó fẹ́ kí ìjọba wọ́gi lé ikọ̀ sars. ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá pátápátá lórílẹ̀‐èdè nàìjíríà dá àwọn ọlọ́pàá dùgbòlùjà sí gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀. ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ pa nígbà tí ènìyàn 5 gbẹ́mìí mì níbi ìwọ́de tó wáyé ìlú Ìbàdàn lónìí. Lágbo aré ìdárayá, akọni agbábọ́ọ̀lù ní Austin Eguavoen ti di akọ́nimọ̀ọ́gbá ní orílẹ̀-èdè Mali. Ìròyìn ọ̀hún rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin àgbà ti rọ ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari wípé kó wá ọ̀nà àti fòpin sí awuyewuye àwọn olùwọ́de tó fẹ́ kí ìjọba wọ́gi lé ikọ̀ SARS. Ṣé olórí ohun tí àwọn olùwọ́de náà ń fẹ́ ni wípé kí ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọ́gi lé ikọ̀ SARS kó sì fòpin sí ètò ìjọba ẹlẹ́wọ̀lẹ̀ tí kò mọ̀yán lórí. Bákan náà ní ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin àgbà gba ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá pátápátá lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà níyànjú láti jẹ́ kí àwọn ọlọ́pàá ó máa dáàbò bo àwọn olùwọ́de, èyí tí kì yóò jẹ́ kí àwọn jàǹdùkú já kinní ọ̀hún gbà mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́. Ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin àgbà ti jẹ́ kí àwọn olùwọ́de náà mọ̀ ó dájú pé ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti wá ojútùú sí àwọn ẹ̀dùn ọkàn wọn, nítorí náà kí wọ́n fi òpin sí ètò ìwọ́de tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ yìí. Àwọn asòfin àgbà yìí gba ìjọba Buhari níyànjú láti tètè gbé ìgbìmọ̀ olùwádìí dìde lórí akitiyan ẹ̀ka SARS, kán sì fi páńpẹ́ ọba gbé àwọn ọlọ́pàá SARS tó ti ṣe àṣemáṣe sẹ́yìn, kódà kí ìjọba wọ́ wọn lu ilé-ẹjọ́. Olórí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú-ṣòfin ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Fẹ́mi Gbàjàbíàmílà ti ní ilé kì yóò fi ọwọ́ sí àbá ètò ìṣúná ọdún tó ń bọ̀ àyàfi tó bá wà nínú àbá ètò ìṣúná náà wípé ìjọba ti ṣetán láti fún àwọn tó fara kááṣá làásìgbò àwọn ọlọ́pàá lówó gbà má bínú. Ó ní àwọn akẹgbẹ́ òun kì yóò fọwọ́ sí o bí ètò ìṣúná náà kò bá pèsè fún wíwá ojútùú sí ọ̀kan òjọ̀kan ìṣòro èyí tó ń kojú ará ìlú lápapọ̀. Ó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lásìkò ìjókòó ilé tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lónìí. Bákan náà ló tẹnumọ́ wípé èyíkéyìí aṣòfin tó bá lọ́wọ́ nínú àwọn ìwà tí ò bófin mu ni yóò fi mú kàtà òfin. Ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Fẹ́mi Gbàjàbíàmílà tún wá rọ àwọn olùwọ́de láti fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ lásìkò díẹ̀ láti fi wá ojútùú sí gbogbo ẹ̀dùn ọkàn wọn. Ó ṣe ìlérí láti ṣíwájú ikọ̀ tí yóò máa ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí mọ̀lẹ́bí àwọn tó ti jìyà lọ́wọ́ ikọ̀ ọlọ́pàá SARS àti àwọn ọlọ́pàá lápapọ̀. Ìròyìn tí a gbọ́ ni wípé ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin àgbà pàápàá jókòó jíròrò lórí àìṣedéédé mélòó kan tí ó farapẹ́ yìí. Alákòóso tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ òkèèrè lórúkọ ìjọba ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà Geoffrey Onyeama ti ṣe ìpàdé pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn aṣojú ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáyé. Ìlú Àbújá nípàdé ọ̀hún ti wáyé lónìí. Pàtàkì àpérò ọ̀hún ni láì tètè fi òpin sí ètò ìwọ́de tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ gùn lé. Lára àwọn tó wà ń pàdé ọ̀hún ni aṣojú ìjọba ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà, aṣojú ìjọba ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, aṣojú ìjọba ilẹ̀ Germany àti bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yìn ọ̀rẹyìn ni wọ́n wọ́gi lé ìwé tí wọ́n fi pe àwọn oníròyìn sípàdé ọ̀hún, èyí tó túmọ̀ sí wípé wọn kò gba àwọn oníròyìn láyè láti ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ìpàdé náà. Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ langba tó ń fi ẹ̀hónú wọn hàn gba àdúgbò Orogún UI, ojú ọ̀nà tó re Sango èyí tó lọ sí Mọ́kọ́lá roundabout àti ojú ọ̀nà tó sọdá sí ilé ìwòsàn ńlá UCH láti Mọ́kọ́lá kan rí lónìí o. Wọn kò sì jẹ́ kí àwọn onímọ́tò àti àwọn èrò orí bìrìn pẹ̀lú. Àwọn oníròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa Olúwafúnmiláyọ̀ Alóńgẹ́ àti Julia Nínẹ̀ tó tọpinpin ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ̀nyí jábọ̀ rẹ̀ wípé kì í ṣe ìfòpin sí akitiyan ẹ̀ka SARS nìkan làwọn olùwọ́de náà ń jà fún. Bákan náà ni wọ́n ń jà fún ètò ìṣèjọba rere, bí oúnjẹ gbogbo tẹnúnjẹ ṣe gbówó lórí àti ìgbé ayé tí ò nítumọ̀. Ó wà lára àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ń jà fún pẹ̀lú. Wọn kò sì fi ojú rere wo bí ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari kò ṣe tí ì sọ ohunkóhun nípa làásìgbò tó ń wáyé náà. A gbọ́ wípé àwọn nǹkan ò ṣẹnure lónìí o ní àwọn àdúgbò bíi Àpáta, Odò Ọ̀nà, Olúyọ̀lé mile 110, Ìkóríta Alẹ́ṣinlọ́yẹ́, Jẹ́ríkò tó fi mọ́ àdúgbò Ìwòrò nígboro ìlú Ìbàdàn tí í ṣe olú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Làbárè ní wípé àwọn tí ó ń rọ ìjọba àpapọ̀ yìí kókó fi òpin sí ikọ̀ SARS ni wọ́n gbòde kan bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti nǹkan bí aago 7 kùtùkùtù òwúrọ̀ yìí tí wọn kò sì jẹ́ kí ọkọ̀ àti àwọn èrò kó ráàyè kọjá kó pafẹ́ lójú pópó. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun tí a gbọ́, ńṣe ni wọ́n ń ṣe ìwọ́de láti tako ìdásílẹ̀ ẹ̀ka SARS àti ètò ìṣèjọba rere láti ọwọ́ àwọn aláṣẹ. Oníròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa Ọlárìnsáyọ̀ Owóẹ̀yẹ tó tọpinpin ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà jábọ̀ wípé àwọn kan tilẹ̀ ń jà fún bí owó epo bẹtiró ṣe gbówó lórí tó fi mọ́ oúnjẹ gbogbo tí ẹnu ń jẹ àti bí ìpèsè iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná ṣe gbówó lórí. Àwọn olùwọ́de yìí ní ọtí ò tán àlejò lọ làwọn yóò fi ìwọ́de náà ṣe o, àyàfi tí ìjọba bá ṣe ohun gbogbo tí àwọn ń fẹ́. Láìsí àní-àní, ìfẹ̀hónúhàn tó ń lọ lóde báyìí ti ń pagi dínà iṣẹ́ káràkátà káàkiri ìgboro ìlú Ìbàdàn tí ṣolú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ o. Àwọn jàǹdùkú sì ti fi àákò náà kẹ́wọ́ láti máa fi dárúgùdù sílẹ̀. Àwọn olùwọ́de náà kò jẹ́ kí òṣìṣẹ́ wa kan Ìbíùnmí Ìṣọ̀lá kó rọ́nà lọ ládùúgbò ẹlẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ ológun ẹrú. Àwọn olùwọ́de fi ojú pópó sílẹ̀ ni tó sì jẹ́ wípé ìbá péréte ọkọ̀ ló wà lójú pópó. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí oníròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa Ìbíùnmí Ìṣọ̀lá ṣe sọ, kò sí ọkọ̀ tó lè rọ́nà kọjá ládùúgbò Adétókun já sí Nihot, Àpáta já sí Jẹ́ríkò. Àwọn ọmọ ọ̀ta ta tẹ́ǹtì sí ojú títì tí wọ́n sì mu ọtí àti pàyà tòun ti gbogbo eléré. Kódà àwọn ènìyàn tó ń gbé ní àdúgbò Adétókun ti ní àwọn kò fara mọ́ ìwà pálapàla tí ó ń wáyé náà o. Bákan náà, àwọn ọmọ Ọ̀ṣọ́ta lo àǹfààní ìwọ́de yìí láti fi máa gba owó lọ́wọ́ ará ìlú lẹ́bàá iléeṣẹ́ wa Pensioners FM. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí oníròyìn iléeṣẹ́ wa Michael Adéẹmọ ṣe wí, àwọn jàǹdùkú gba ẹ̀rọ alágbèéká lọ́wọ́ ẹni mélòó kan tí wọ́n sì gba nǹkan bí 1,700 náírà lọ́wọ́ obìnrin kan. Ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá pátápátá lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ti dá àwọn ọlọ́pàá dùgbòlùjà sí gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀. Ojúṣe wọn ni láti dáàbò bo ẹ̀mí òun dúkìá ará ìlú. Alárinà àjọ ọlọ́pàá ilẹ̀ yìí Frank Mba ló kéde ìgbésẹ̀ yìí, èyí tó wáyé nípasẹ̀ rògbòdìyàn àwọn olùwọ́de káàkiri orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti ẹkùn Àbújá. Ìròyìn tí a gbọ́ láti agbègbè Ọ̀jọ́ Ìbàdàn ni wípé ó kéré tán ènìyàn 5 ló bá ìwọ́de tó wáyé lónìí rìn re ọ̀run ọ̀sán gangan o, nítorí tí àwọn ọmọ Ọ̀ṣọ́ta àti àwọn ọlọ́pàá gbéná wojú ara wọn. Àwọn tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà ṣojú ti ń gbé e jáde lójú òpó ayélujára. Gbàrà tí ọlọ́pàá kan yin ìbọn fọ́ olùwọ́de kan lẹ́sẹ̀ ni ìjà bẹ̀rẹ̀, tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tí inú ń bí sì dáná sun àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá tó ń bẹ lágbègbè Ọ̀jọ́ tó fi mọ́ ọkọ̀ 10 ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Gbogbo ìlàkàkà tí oníròyìn iléeṣẹ́ Pensioners FM ṣe láti rí i dájú pé alárinà àgbà fún àwọn ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ SP Olúgbénga Fádèyí kó sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ìgbésẹ̀ náà ló já sí pàbó. Ìròyìn ọ̀hún dé sí etí ìgbọ̀yín láti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò àgbàlódé Pensioners FM 106.7 Àgbárígo Onírèké Ìbàdàn. Ẹ máa bá wa kálọ. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ pa o nígbà tí ènìyàn 5 gbẹ̀mí-mì níbi ìwọ́de tó wáyé nílùú Ìbàdàn lónìí. Àwọn iléèwé ìjọba àti ti aládàáni tó wà nígboro ìlú Ìbàdàn nìkan ni ọ̀rọ̀ náà kàn, títí àwọn olùwọ́de yóò fi jámi lórí akitiyan wọn. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ Ṣèyí Mákindé tó kéde ìgbésẹ̀ yìí ni àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ààbò tí a mọ̀ sí Operation Burst yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní yíde kiri láti pa òfin òun ètò àlàáfíà mọ́. Ṣé a ò gbàgbé wípé onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ Ṣèyí Mákindé ti fi yé àwọn ọlọ́pàá tẹ́lẹ̀ wípé kí wọ́n yé léwájú àwọn olùwọ́de mọ́, bí kò ṣe wípé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ààbò tó kù ló lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Bákan náà ni gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti ní kí àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ iléèwé ìjọba àti ti aládàáni kó lọ rèé fi ìdí mọ́lẹ̀ o, títí ohun gbogbo yóò fi rọ ṣọmù nípasẹ̀ àwọn olùwọ́de. Arákùnrin Olúwarótìmí Akérédolú kéde ìgbésẹ̀ yìí lónìí lójú òpó abẹ́yẹfò rẹ̀ tí a mọ̀ sí Twitter. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Babájídé Sanwó-Olú ti fi ọ̀gbàgbà òfin kónílé-ó-gbélé gbalẹ̀ wákàtí 24 ni òfin náà yóò fi jà ńlẹ̀ ràìnràìn bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti aago 4 ọ̀sán òní. Gómìnà Babájídé Sanwó-Olú korò ojú sí ètò ìwọ́de èyí tí ó ń lọ lóde níbi tí àwọn jàǹdùkú ti jágbà dé ibi tí ìtàgbòrógan fi ń wáyé láàrin àwọn agbófinró àti ọmọ ọ̀ta. Àjọ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó sì ti fi òfin de èyíkéyìí ìwọ́de ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà. Ìròyìn fi yé ni o wípé àwọn ọmọ ọ̀ta dáná sun ilé níjọba ìbílẹ̀ Ajérọ̀mí Ìfẹ́lódùn tí wọ́n sì sun àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá tó wà ní àdúgbò Láyẹni, ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ onídàgbàsókè ti Ìfẹ́lódùn. Lágbo aré ìdárayá, akọni agbábọ́ọ̀lù tó jẹ́ ọmọ bíbí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní Austin Eguavoen ti di akọ́nimọ̀ọ́gbá ní orílẹ̀-èdè Mali. Òun ni yóò máa darí ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Dimaco tilẹ̀ Mali. Ó ti gbá bọ́ọ̀lù fún ikọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ilẹ̀ Ìrí Super Eagles tó gba ife ẹ̀yẹ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ lọ́dún 2006 èyí tó wáyé ní orílẹ̀-èdè Egypt. Ó sì ti ṣe iṣẹ́ akọ́nimọ̀ọ́gbá fún Bendel Insurance, Sharks FC àti ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù ilẹ̀ yìí tí ọjọ́ orí wọn ò ju ọdún 17 àti ọdún 23 lọ. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí àwọn àrígbámú tó ń bẹnu ìròyìn ọ̀hún rèé. Ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin àgbà ilẹ̀ yìí ti rọ ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ó wípé kó wá ọ̀nà àti fòpin sí awuyewuye àwọn olùwọ́de tó fẹ́ kí ìjọba wọ́gilé ikọ̀ SARS. Ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá pátápátá lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ti dá àwọn ọlọ́pàá dùgbòlùjà sí gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ pa nígbà tí ènìyàn 5 gbẹ́mìí mì níbi ìwọ́de tó wáyé nílùú Ìbàdàn lónìí. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ onímọ̀ ẹ̀rọ Ṣèyí Mákindé ló kéde ìgbésẹ̀ náà. Lágbo aré ìdárayá, akọni agbábọ́ọ̀lù ọmọ bíbí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ní Austin Eguavoen ti di akọ́nimọ̀ọ́gbá ní orílẹ̀-èdè Mali. Yétúndé Òkè ní olóòtú ìròyìn. Ṣọlá Ògúnṣọlá ló ti mú wá sí etí ìgbọ́yín. Ó dàárọ̀ o, ká sùn láyọ̀ ká jí láyọ̀.
Òun ló yẹ ká gbọ́ o, òun ló yẹ ká gbọ́, òun ló yẹ ká gbọ́ o, òun ló yẹ ká gbọ́. Pensioners FM ìmọ̀fẹ́ máa gbọ́ amóhùndúgbẹ́mù 106.7 àwọn ìròyìn tó pójú owó